Good afternoon. Today we are continuing with our probability unit. We are on PO40. I can calculate the probability of a single event. So probability is the likelihood.
We already did this. Is this the same one as last one?
No, it's not.
It is.
No, it's not. This is PO40. We did 39 yesterday. Remember, math builds on itself. So we are building on what we learned yesterday with that objective to what we're going to be learning today. It is different. There will be some similarities because we're building our knowledge. So probability is the likelihood of an event occurring. So again, this is a probability unit. We're going to talk about what probability means a lot because we really need to understand that. We talked yesterday about the scale of probability. So remember that scale of probability, if it's at a zero, let's put it at the top, 0%, it's not happening. So if it's at 0%, it will not happen. And if it's at 100%, it definitely will happen. So in the middle, we have our 50%. It may or may not equal chances. We know if we get closer to that 0%, what do we say? Who remembers from yesterday? It's not likely. If we are at 75%, we're getting closer to 100, so it is likely. Okay, the closer we get to 100, the more likely it is to happen. The closer we're at the 0, the less likely it is to happen. This is the new part. That was from yesterday's objective, refreshing our memories. Now we have a probability formula. We did not talk about a probability formula yesterday. So our formula, on top, you put what you want to happen. And on the bottom, you put what could happen. So on the top is what you want. On the bottom is what the possibility of everything that could happen. Or we could call it this way. You could say your desired outcomes. I want to flip heads every time. So that's my desire, to flip a heads over the possible outcomes. So if I want to flip heads, I have a 1 chance of flipping the heads because it's heads or tails. Out of how many possible? There's 2 possible outcomes. If I'm rolling my dice and I want to roll a 1, so there's 1 possible outcome, 1 desired outcome. I want to roll the 1, but there's 6 possible. So your desired is over your possible. So to calculate the probability of each event, written as both a fraction and a percentage. So we know how to go between fractions and percentages. We're going to decide if the event is likely, if it's going towards that 100, or if it's unlikely or not likely, going towards the 0%. And we're going to show our work. Okay? So let's look at what this is going to look like. So make sure you have your formulas written down, because this is different than the math we did yesterday. All right. So you have a bag of 60 marbles. 9 are red, 24 are blue, 15 are white, and 12 are yellow. What is the probability of choosing a red marble? So we're going to remember that the number of the desired outcomes goes on top, and your number of possible outcomes goes on bottom. What is my fraction going to look like, Gus?
9/120.
How many marbles are there altogether, Gus?
120.
How many marbles are there?
Oh, 60.
There's 60 marbles, so there's 60 possible outcomes. 9 of them are red. So I'm going to put the 9 on the top because there's 9 red that I could choose. The 60 is how many marbles there are all together. So I have my fraction. I need to turn that into a percentage because it says we need to have both fraction and percentage. I don't need to simplify my fraction. I could just leave it at 9/60. Yes, because we're doing probability. How could I go from 9/60? What do you think is the easiest way to get a percentage? Emily?
You do 9 divided by 60 to get 15%.
Yeah. If I do 9 divided by 60, because that fraction bar means divide, I get 0.15, which I know is 15%. If it's 15%, is this likely to happen or not likely? Not likely. So we need to write not likely. So we need to make sure that we have our fraction, our percentage, and that it is not likely to happen. Does that make sense? Chance?
We have to reduce our fraction.
I just said we don't have to simplify them. Okay? We can just have the initial fraction when you plug in your outcomes, the desired over the possible. Then you can put those numbers into the calculator to get your decimal, which you will turn into a percentage. Use that percentage to look at that scale of probability, less likely or not likely or likely. So let's do another one together. What is the probability of choosing a yellow marble? What is my fraction going to look like? Aiden?
12/60.
Yeah, there are 12 yellow marbles out of 60 possible marbles. So that's my fraction. I'm going to turn that into a decimal. What decimal is that going to be? Audrey?
0.20.
0.2 or 0.20. So I'm going to turn that into my percentage. 20% again would be not likely. Now they change it up on us. What is the probability of choosing a blue or a white marble? Now what do I do? How do I solve that? James?
You add them together.
Yeah. I need to add my blue and my white. So I need to add 24 and 15 together. Because I don't care if it's blue or white. I want one of those colors. So if I add those together, I get 39 out of my 60 marbles. What's my decimal? Evelyn? So the decimal is 0.65. I'm going to change that into my percentage. Is 65% not likely or likely? Likely, because it's above 50%. So I'll write likely.
What would he say for like if it was at 50%?
If it's right at 50%, then we just don't know. 50%, it could go either way. It's a 50-50 chance. So it could be not likely or likely when it's right in the middle. We can't say. So let's do the last one. What is the probability of choosing a red, white, or yellow marble? And notice they use the word or instead of and. Why do you think they do that? Evan?
Oh, or is adding hold on.
Think about what it would mean if we chose a red, white, and yellow marble. You go.
That would be one of each, but we're just looking for one of any of those three.
Or it would be one marble that has red, yellow, and white on it.
But
that's not what we're looking for. We're looking for a red marble or a white marble or a yellow marble. So we have to add all of those up. What number do we get of red, white, and yellow?
46.
Not 46.
36.
45.
So let's look at red. Red is 9.
Oh, I didn't.
White is 15. And yellow is 12. Somebody. 9 plus 15 plus 12 is 36. Be careful when you're adding, friends. Make sure you're adding the correct numbers. So there are 36 of our desired outcomes, the red, white, or yellow, still out of 60. What is 36 divided by 60? Emmett? 0.6, which is 60%. Is 60% likely or not likely? Likely. So be careful, because I had a whole lot of us telling me the wrong number to put for my desired outcome. When you are combining, make sure you're adding correctly. When we look at our next page, you are going to be working on this one on your own. You're going to calculate the probability of each event both as a fraction and a percentage, just like we were just doing. You're going to put that fraction, you're going to divide, put the percentage, and say if it's likely or not likely. Show your work. So really think through what it's saying. If we're doing the alphabet and the probability of choosing a vowel, how many vowels are there in the alphabet? Freya? 5. We're not counting Y. Y is a consonant in this scenario. That's why I'm going over it. Y, we're counting as a consonant. So if there are 5 vowels, how many consonants are there?
21.
21. So think through what it is. So really pay attention to what information your problem is giving you, how many of the possible outcomes there are, how many of your desired outcomes there are. So the actual formula, desired over possible, is not that tricky. The tricky part is making sure you have the correct numbers. Emmett. Well, when we're working with percentages, what do we round to? The hundredths. Why the hundredths? Because centi means 100. Percent, we round to the 100th place. Okay, so always keep that in mind when you're working with percents. 100 is the magic number. For my friends at home, we hope you are well, and we hope to see you soon. Have a wonderful day.